Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Franklin Public Radio. You're listening on WFPR, Franklin Public Radio. And I am Jay Horrigan along with Chris Flynn.
All right, sounds good.
We are here at the Tsongas Center in the MIAA Boys Basketball Division I State Championship live from the University of Lowell. Our number one seed Franklin Panthers are back at their fourth run at the championship since 2017. This time the Panthers will tip off against the number 3 seed Newton North Tigers. Franklin starters are out on the court, kind of getting together, having a little huddle. Some of the players and Coach C.J. Neely go over, get one last sip of water. Coach Neely rubs his son's head. He fist bumps all the assistants, and we are just about ready to start. And the opening tip is controlled by Caden Sullivan and the Panthers, and they'll start off. They'll get it to Olmstead up top. Olmstead to Justice
Nice
Samuels.
way for the Panthers to start the game off, but that's unfortunately going to be knocked out of bounds, and it's going to go in the direction of Newton North.
Yeah, it goes off of Justice Samuels, Chris. That's Chris Flynn joining me. And Newton North will bring it up court. Jake Lyons initially controls the ball. It's back to Lyons.
Almost gets a hand on that one.
Yeah, he's being guarded by Caden Sullivan, and there's going to be a foul, a charge.
Offensive foul.
That's going to be against Newton North, the first foul of the game, and that was away from the ball. Great job by the Panthers playing defense. Team first foul against Newton North, and Olmstead will bring it across the timeline. Caden Sullivan follows him up. Sullivan on the left wing goes to the basket, about a 12-foot jump shot, and it's good. Need Caden Sullivan to get off to a good start, which he has. Sinks his first shot. Newton North now trailing 2-0. Newton North is going from right to left, and they lose the ball out of bounds. It goes off of Matthias Stam's leg, and Franklin will inbound it. Samuels gets it to Olmstead. Franklin going from left to right on your radio dial or your television screen. Conlon to Olmstead to Samuels on the right side, the near side.
Goes for the deep three.
Way out. No good. And Newton North comes up with the rebound. Swint brings it up court. They work it around. They get it over to Lyons, who has a long-range three-pointer, and that's good.
So North gets their first basket of the game.
Yeah, they'll take the lead 3-2. And Sullivan will bring it up this time. Gets it to Samuels out top. Olmstead over to the near side. Olmstead trying to work it underneath. He has his shot blocked there by Stam. Another
North for three.
Yeah.
They get it.
That was, I think that was Tegan Swint for three.
And just like that, Newton North kicks their lead up to 6-2.
Caden Sullivan drives to the basket, rolls off the back, then the front of the rim off. And now Newton North has it with a 6-2 lead. 18-foot jump shot, good for two. 8-2, 5:30 left in the opening quarter. Conlon on the right side to Olmstead. Olmstead drives to the basket on the left side. It's no good, but he gets fouled by Stam, and Olmstead will shoot two. So that's the second foul against Newton North. Olmstead will shoot two. Olmstead's first shot is up and good.
Good.
Olmsted's second shot up, and that's good. Both of them, neither of them hit the rim. 8-4 our score. 5:25 left, first quarter. Lions brings it over half court for the Tigers. Samuel's playing very good defense there.
Yeah, the entire team is playing tight D right now.
Jump shot there, no good. Long shot, rebound is fought for. Newton North gets it. They kick it out, and they'll get a fresh 35 on the shot clock. It's Lions for three way downtown, no good. Newton North gets another rebound. They'll shoot for three again. In and out.
That was a good one.
And then back in by Switz. 11-4 our score. Olmsted gets it to Samuels out top. Back to Olmsted. He'll go to the top of the key. He'll try driving to the basket. He's working there on Stam. Stam playing good defense. They kick it back out. Samuels, he goes to the basket. And that gets knocked away by Swift and then hits Samuels in the shoulder, and it goes out of bounds off Franklin. So Newton North will inbound it with an 11-4 lead, 4.5 minutes left in the opening quarter.
So this quarter started off with Franklin being on fire for the most part, and then Newton North has been able to slow him down in the last few minutes.
Yeah, and part of that is, Chris, Newton North has hit their shots, and it slowed Franklin down. Lions, top of the key, gets it. Another three-point attempt by Mercedes.
This one is
no good, but the ball gets knocked away.
Oh,
Samuels
nice block
with
there
his
by
first
Samuels.
block of the game. And that ball's going to go out of bounds.
That one's going to be Franklin.
Yeah, that goes out of bounds off of the head of Mercedes for Newton North. Franklin inbounds it, and Olmsted will bring it up. Olmsted gets across the timeline, hands it off to Samuels, who looks to go to the basket, unable to. Sullivan now with the ball. Olmsted over to O'Donnell. O'Donnell to Sullivan. Sullivan up and under, good for two. 11-6. 3.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Newton North with the 5-point lead in the ball. Newton North works it around the outside. That's Mercedes down in the corner. He kicks it back out top to Swint. Swint being guarded by Olmsted. And the ball then goes to Spinelli, who shoots for three. No good. There's going to be a double foul underneath. And it was after the shot, so they're going to go to the point of interruption. So let's see.
A double foul has been called on Franklin's number 11, Seth O'Donnell.
So O'Donnell gets called for the foul.
And on Newton North's number 30,
And Bryson Mercedes for Newton North. Since the ball was in the air, they go to the possession arrow. That goes to Newton North.
Another deep shot. This one's not going to be any good. Newton North able to keep it in bounds, but it's not going to go to a teammate. It's going to go to Franklin.
Olmsted goes to the basket. Oh,
nice
it
play
gets
right there,
knocked
and
away.
he finishes.
Yeah, Sullivan able to come up with that while he was in midair, laid it in, and gets fouled by number 1, Jake Lyons. So Sullivan will go to the line with the chance of converting the traditional three-point play.
An incredible finish there.
Yeah. 11-8 our score right now, 2:49 left. Checking into the game is Luke Washik for Newton North. And Lyons goes out. Sullivan shooting one. Trailing 11-8. Sullivan's shot is up. And
that's it.
Good. Pure right through the net. 11-9. Newton North with the 2-point lead in the ball. 2:45 left in the opening stanza. Newton North working the ball around. They are trying to get open for the three-pointers. That is a lot of their game.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty much been their bread and butter this entire first quarter.
And that gets knocked away by Sullivan, picked up by Samuels, and kicked to Sullivan again. Sullivan has his shot blocked. He thought he got fouled. No call. Ball goes the other way. And Newton North for three. No good off the back rim. Sullivan comes down, gets the rebound, gets it to Olmsted. 2 minutes left. Newton North still up by 2. Sullivan fakes a three, goes to the basket. He gets fouled on his way to the basket. He'll shoot 2.
Looked like there was a little bit of horseplay down there on the court, Jay.
Waiting for someone, Chris, to do a triple sow cow down there. Zach Allen's going to check into the game momentarily. Sullivan will shoot 2 with the chance to tie it. 1:59 left. Sullivan's first shot is good.
Good shot.
Zach Allen comes in for Seth O'Donnell. As Coach Neely has done throughout the tournament as well as the regular season, working, trying to find the right combination of players to work for him. That shot hits the back of the rim.
Oh, just barely can't keep it in bounds. Wow.
Eventually, Olmsted gets it by diving on the floor, but while he was in contact with the ball, he slid out of bounds. So it'll be Newton North ball with a 1-point lead, and they will bring it up. Oh, and a
nice
steal by
steal right
Olmsted,
there.
and then Olmsted
gets
gets
it.
fouled by number
Plus
22.
one coming right up.
Yeah, switched with the foul. The ball went in, and that gives Franklin a 12-11 lead. Olmsted will have the opportunity to expand that lead to 2. Sub coming in, Mercedes comes back into the game, and he'll replace Luke Washek.
And with that basket, Jay, Franklin takes their first lead since the start of this quarter.
Yeah. It did look like Olmsted might have gotten fouled in the backcourt when he first gained the ball, but to no avail. Olmsted hits the foul shot. 13-11 Panthers. A minute and a half left in this opening quarter, and a layup there.
That's going to tie it up at 13.
Yeah, that was Mercedes for the Tigers. Mercedes actually guarding Justice Samuels, and
that's going to stay Franklin ball.
yeah, Mercedes knocked that out of Samuels' hands as he went to the basket, and it went out of bounds off Mercedes. Franklin will inbound at 23 on the shot clock. 1:21 left. Sullivan for a long-range three.
Follow up, and it goes down for 2.
Yeah, Conlon with the rebound, and he puts it right back up, and he scores. Franklin back in the lead by 2. Newton North. There goes Cotto to
Good
the
shot
basket.
there. A slight fadeaway shot there for 2.
And here comes the Panthers with the score tied at 15. Caden Sullivan drives right down the lane. His shot's no good.
Can't even tip that one off for the rebound.
No, Conlon tried to get it, unable to do so. Olmsted playing defense. That's stolen
Nice steal
by
here.
Conlon. Here he goes. He lays
And
it
he
in
gets it
for
for
2.
2.
The shot clock is off. 30 seconds left in the first quarter.
So Franklin, having scored quite a few critical steals here in this first quarter to put themselves up by 2, with the score being 17-15. 15 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Stam dribbling out top, being guarded by Justice. They're just waiting for the clock to run down. We're down under 10. Sullivan almost had a steal there. Missed shot, rebound by Swint, and he lays it in and ties the score. So at the end of our first period of play, the score is 17-17. So great job. Hey, just while you're listening here at Franklin Public Radio, we're all about Franklin. If you're enjoying tonight's game, let us know. If you want more school sports coverage on the radio, just email us at info@franklin.tv. That's info@franklin.tv. We'd love to hear from you. You can listen to Franklin Public Radio 24/7 on 102.9 and stream all online at our website, wfpr.fm. So Franklin got down early. They did a nice job fighting back, had a bunch of steals, as Chris said. And then they got ahead. Newton North then worked hard. They were able to go back and forth. They exchanged buckets. And now it is going to be Franklin ball to start the second quarter with our score tied at 17. You can hear in the background students screaming. They've got a central scoreboard here that has a video on it, and it's cameramen showing all the students.
It almost feels like we're covering a game at the Garden, Jay.
Yeah. So Zach Allen brings the ball over, gets it to Olmsted. Olmsted cuts to the basket. His shot's no good. Rebound, Samuels. Samuels lays it up. He gets fouled. No good. The ball does not go in, but that's going to be a foul on Mercedes. That's Mercedes, his third personal. Mercedes, one of their starters, and he's already got 3. It's the first one of the quarter. And Justice Samuels' first shot, just a little off. And we're going to have Jake Lyons come into the game, number 1. And Coach Paul Conley of Newton North is talking to the crew chief, Rich Napolitano, and they are discussing, I believe, the number of fouls on Mercedes. PC, Paul Conley, doesn't think it's 3. His bench has, I think, 2. But the official scorer has 3 on Mercedes. So Mercedes will go out of the game. Lions will come in. They do have Mercedes for 3, so that's what it's going to be. Samuels, the second foul shot goes right through the net. 18-17, Franklin with the lead. Newton North now with the ball, working around the perimeter, and there's a drive to the basket. No good, but it's going to end up being a foul, I think, on Zach Allen. Yeah, it's on Zach Allen. Newton North will shoot. Spinelli will shoot 2 foul shots. That's Allen's first foul, Franklin's first foul of the quarter. And Newton North's going to have a sub come in. Oliver Wardley, number
first shot
10,
is good.
Is coming in, and Wyatt Herndon's going to come in for Zach Allen. Going out for Newton North is number 22, Swint. Second shot, good. He makes them both. So Newton up 1. 7.5 left in the second quarter. Olmsted brings the ball up. Gets it over to Herndon. Herndon cross court to Conlon. Conlon back out top to Olmsted. Olmsted drives to the basket. Spins, diddles, fiddles, no good.
Newton North taking it back.
Newton way outside. Nice crossover.
Nice block there by
Second
Samuels.
block of the night by Justice Samuels. That's 2 for him. And Olmsted gets it back out top. It's now in the hands of Caden Sullivan. Caden gets it over to Olmsted. Olmsted to Herndon. Herndon back to Sullivan. Sullivan for 3. Hits off the back of the rim. Yeah, no good. Lions rebounds for Newton. Newton drives it. Now pulls it back out and is going to set up their offense.
That one's going to be inadvertently thrown out of bounds.
Spinelli thought that Zakic was going to stay in the corner on the far side, but he ended up cutting to the basket, and the ball went out of bounds. So that's a turnover. Newton North. Franklin will inbound it, and Olmsted will bring it up. Olmsted surveying the defense, gets it over to Samuels on the far side. Back to Olmsted. Olmsted goes to the basket again, gets knocked away, then
Ooh.
Wow, them bodies all over the place. And that's going to be a block against Justice Samuels. Looked like Samuels may have gotten there just a tick late and gets called for the block. Got a stoppage here for a player to tie his sneaker stam there for Newton and Coach Neely trying to get an explanation on that call. So Newton North, long-range three-pointer, no good. Rebound, Herndon. Herndon kicks it up. Gets it to Conlon on the far side. He's down in the corner. Back up top to Olmsted, to Sullivan.
For three. Gets
And
it.
he's good for three. And Paul Connolly, the head coach of Newton, calls a timeout. He wanted something earlier. He was talking about something, but he gets the timeout after Franklin takes a 2-point lead, 21-19, 5:47 left in the quarter. Again, Mercedes for Newton North, one of their 5 starters, already has 3 fouls. So we'll see how that impacts how Newton North plays, but also how it impacts the offense of the Panthers going forward. Coach Neely on a knee in the huddle, or he may be on a stool. I can't tell.
Neither can I.
It actually looks like he's in good shape. He's probably on a knee. Me, I'd need a high chair. If I got down that low, Chris, I'm not sure I would get back up, at least for a while. Referees trying to get the team out of the huddle. And Franklin breaks their huddle. Newton North breaks their huddle. If you haven't seen Newton North play, Coach Paul Connolly is a very animated coach on the sideline. He is, and now he's actually out kind of on the court. There's a spill in front of the Newton North bench, so one of the assistants has a towel and they're cleaning it up along with help from one of the officials. But Coach Connolly is out talking to his players on the court while they wait for that spot to be cleaned up. And now the officials send Connolly back to the bench. He cannot play. He's used all his eligibility. So Newton North will inbound the ball. And Lions, number 1, will bring it up, the sophomore. He's being guarded by Herndon. Gets it over into the corner to Wardley, who's being guarded by Samuels. This is Connors with the ball. Almost thrown away. Newton North recovers. Trying to find an opening, which is hard to do. That gets knocked away by Caden Sullivan.
Yeah. Franklin ball.
Going to be Franklin ball. Caden Sullivan got his hand in there, was able to knock it free, and it ends up going off a Newton North player. 5:19 left in the first half. Olmsted brings it up, and he crosses the timeline. Franklin up by 2, looking to add to that. Olmsted goes to the basket, throws it to the far corner to Sullivan. He kicks it outside. Gets outside
Good
to
shot.
Conlon for
Can't
3,
get it to
no
go.
good. And that's going to go out of bounds. Stamford Newton was falling out of bounds. He threw it off. I think it went off either Olmsted or Samuels, but Newton North retains possession. They inbound it, and Lions will jog it up the court. He's being guarded by Herndon. Ball in the far corner, gets down to Wardley, being guarded by Samuels. Back to Lyons, who steps forward, then back. His three-pointer's
Can't
no
get
good.
that shot to go.
Going to have a foul there on, I believe, Caden Sullivan, who did not think he fouled him, but he's going to get called for a hold. That's Sullivan's first foul. It's the team's third with still 4:40 left in the quarter. Newton North drives to the basket. That ball is no good. Shot there by Wardley. Rebound Franklin, and Sullivan will bring it up. gets it over to Conlon, looking to go to the basket. He passes the ball underneath to Herndon, who kicks it back out to Conlon, and Conlon's going to get fouled. There's going to be a blocking call against Zakic for Newton North. That's Zakic's first foul. It's the team's second of the quarter. Couple of subs coming in for Newton North. Washik comes back in for Newton North, and Franklin will inbound it with a fresh 35. Herndon gets it out top to Sullivan, who's on the UMass Lowell logo. Now he goes to the basket and lays it right over the front of the rim for a deuce. 23-19. 4 minutes left in the first half. Sullivan was guarding there. That's going to be a travel call. Yeah. Zakic for Newton North drove from the near side into the lane, and he just got a little off balance, ended up traveling, and it got called by a couple of the officials. So Olmsted will bring the ball up. It's interesting. They have Franklin, their quote-unquote center. Jake Olmsted is also the individual that most of the time brings the ball up.
Deep three.
Sullivan for three from way downtown, no good. That was from Caitlin Clark range. And then a three-pointer comes back. Stam for Newton North. Puts it down for three. And that's Olmsted's ball. Shot gets blocked. It goes out of bounds off Stam. It'll be Franklin ball. And Herndon will inbound it. Herndon looking for an open player. He gets it way outside to Sullivan. Olmsted with 25 on the shot clock. Over to Conlon. Back to Olmsted on the logo. Olmsted shouting out instructions. Sullivan being guarded extremely closely by Spinelli. So Olmsted goes to the basket. He has it blocked. And Newton North comes back the other way. Franklin looking for a travel, but no call there. Washik gets the ball over. They work it into the far corner. Three-point shot by Spinelli. And he scores, and Newton North back in front by two. 25-23, 2:40 left. You can see, Sullivan goes to the basket. He gets fouled. You can hear that the Newton North students don't like it. It is a lot of fun watching Coach Paul Conley. It looks like he's out on the floor playing defense as well. Franklin is going to have Seth O'Donnell check into the game after the first foul shot. Sullivan will shoot two, chance to tie it on the second shot. Looks like O'Donnell's going to replace Conlon.
First shot is good.
Yeah. O'Donnell comes in, Conlon goes out. Conlon gives a little bit of instruction to O'Donnell. So Sullivan will attempt his second shot here, trailing by one. That shot's up and
ties
good.
It up at 25.
Yeah, 2:34 left in the quarter. We want to give a quick shout out to Pete Royce, who is under the weather, unable to make it today. So we'll give him a quick hello, neighbors. So Newton North with the ball, being dribbled by Swint out top. He gets it.
That ball's going to be lost out of bounds. Turn it over to the Panthers.
Kind of a bad pass there by Spinelli trying to get it to Swint, captain to captain, and it goes out of bounds. Franklin will inbound at 2:12 left. And Sullivan will bring it over the timeline on the far side. Back to Olmsted. They move it around. Here goes Herndon to the basket. Fumbles the ball a little bit. Gets it outside to Sullivan. Sullivan for three. Long range three. No good. But not a bad shot. He was open. And a long range three for Newton North. That's no good. Rebound Newton North. That's Stam with the rebound. Kick outside. That's going to be a travel. That's going to be travel. The official has to tell the Franklin bench to sit because everybody on that bench got up yelling for a travel, but the official had the call. Minute 30 left in the first half. And Sullivan has the ball, goes to the far side to Olmsted, who comes back up the top of the circle. He has a long-range three, no good.
Good shot, but no good. Bounces off the rim.
Franklin has been cold with their three-pointers so far, and Newton North doing a good job of defensive rebounding here. Nice defense there by Herndon. Oh, Herndon looked like he got run into. No call. Rebound, Franklin, Caden Sullivan. 1 minute left in the second quarter. Sullivan switches hand, kicks it out to Herndon. Herndon for three. Good.
Franklin gets the three-pointer they've been desperately wanting.
Yeah, 28-25. Franklin leading 45 seconds. Newton North for three, no good. O'Donnell with the rebound. He gets it to Samuels, who gets it to Olmsted. And they'll bring it across the timeline. 28 in the shot clock. Ball in Caden Sullivan's hand. I think Coach Neely is telling them to take their time until they get an open shot. Sullivan right at half court, being guarded there by Washik. Over to Olmsted to Samuels, who misses the layup. Newton North pushes it up the floor. 10 seconds left.
A lot of good ball movement here happening on Newton North side.
It was Swint for three, no good.
2 seconds.
O'Donnell gets it to Sullivan. Sullivan
heaves that was really close to him.
Just goes off the side of the rim and hits the backboard. No good. So, at the end of one half of play, our score is Franklin 28, Newton North 25. And we're going to stick with you through halftime. Chris and I will chat about something. We had hoped to get a visitor from the MIAA.
They couldn't make themselves available for us, could they, Jay?
No, you know what? They've been busy. This is the 10th game of the weekend. There were 2 games Friday night. There were 4 games yesterday. There were 4 games today. In the game just before us, Somerset Berkeley defeated.
That was a Malden Catholic.
Malden Catholic by 21, which was a surprise to many. Malden Catholic making its, I believe, 4th trip or 3rd trip in a row to the state finals. Prior to that, Cathedral High School won their 3rd state title in a row, defeating Hatley by a lot.
So we should point out that we have a fairly big audience here. Pretty much loaded up on both sides of this court for the most part. Both Franklin and Newton North audiences here for this final game today, and they're all just. It is really loud in here.
Yeah, it is, Chris, and this is a arena that has just a lower bowl, if you will, but everything on both sides of the court are filled, and kind of wrapping around a section to the end lines. There's really only probably 3 or 4 sections that only have a few people in it.
Yeah.
There's a great turnout here for this state championship Division I final, and this is what the MIAA was hoping for. It's going to wrap up the weekend. They leave what they hope is the best game to last, and so far we're not disappointed. Franklin with the 28-25 lead.
I'm sure it's a little bit closer than the Panthers would like it to be, but there's been a lot of back and forth, both gameplay on the court and on the scoreboard. And with Newton North playing the way they had, Franklin can just expect more of the same as we have the second half starting up in about 7.25 minutes here.
The scoreboard, Chris, did just say 7-Eleven. You know what I say when I see that. We should open a store named 7-Eleven. So,
haven't they already done that?
I don't know. I think that's my idea.
J 7-Eleven. There you go. So we want to thank you, listeners and viewers at home, for those of you that'll be watching this game later on rebroadcast on Franklin TV. You're also listening to us live on Franklin TV and radio, 102.9 FM. And Jay and I are thrilled to be able to bring this to you on the radio. A large part of that mechanism being Pete Fastiano, who's running the radio operation of it from home. So we thank Pete Fastiano for that.
We also appreciate the support of the MIAA, the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association. It's not just about sports. Their mission is also about growing courageous leaders of tomorrow and encouraging scholastic excellence as well as athletic excellence. Chris, I was not strong in either of those, scholastic or athletic excellence. But we're also fortunate where Franklin TV and the MIAA team up and bring you a lot of information, a lot of different shows. We do the shows with the MIAA, and that is called Winning Ways, and it's about school sports, but it's also about the student athletes, Chris. And we've been lucky enough to have a lot of students of the month, student athletes of the month that we end up interviewing, which is great. We're going to be joined here momentarily by Hingham High Athletic Director Jim Quattromoni, who's also the director of the tournament. First of all, Jim, I got to ask you, how'd your hockey team do earlier today?
We won 5-2, state champions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's a championship there for Hingham High. So, Jim, you not only had your hands full dealing with the hockey game earlier today, you've run this tournament. How's your feeling on how the tournament went this year?
I really like the schedule that we were able to put together for Saugus this year with the Division III boys and girls on Friday, and then going 5 boys, 4 boys, 2 girls, 1 girls on Saturday, and then the opposite of that here on Sunday. I was hopeful, and it does look like that's happened, that we were able to maybe not only attract members of each community, but maybe just basketball fans of each side of the sport.
There is just, looking around this arena and walking around, I've been here most of the day, there are just a ton of people that are just high school basketball fans.
That's what we were looking for, and I'm glad we were able to do that. It's hard to try to do it when you have multiple schools that have 2 teams in there.
Yeah.
And Norwell was the only school fortunate enough to do that this year, so we made it a Norwell Friday night, and the rest of it kind of worked out for us.
Hey, quick question for you. I didn't get a chance to read the article, but I think it was earlier today or yesterday, you reposted something from the Globe about, and it's a question every year about tournament sites.
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
So what we do in November and December is we reach out to schools and give them our 3 Final Four dates, ask them if they're available for any of the dates, and then if so, can we have a doubleheader on those days? And then we build a database of how many schools that we have that we can play. We're meeting pretty much nightly when we get to the round of 8, looking at the matchups and the geography. And then by the time we're done with the round of 8, we have basically lined up the entire schedule, secured the sites. We are looking for as close to equal of travel on those neutral sites as we can, but we've determined that anything less than 25 miles is insignificant, and we consider it equal. And then we're also at the same time looking at the sites that we have available. A good example would be Bourne. I forget who their opponent. Bourne versus who was it? We sent them over to Emmanuel. You probably could have made the argument that Bourne traveled a little too far as the higher seed, but they got to play at Emmanuel instead of Scituate High School.
Yes.
I love Scituate High School, but I think Emmanuel was a great addition to our colleges this year, and I think a lot of folks found out how nice that Emmanuel gym is.
It's a really nice gym, and as much as I love Scituate and I love going to Hingham, Cohasset, I've got family down there, not the easiest place to get to.
No. And another addition in colleges that I should definitely point out is Bridgewater State. It really helped us move things around and take advantage of some of the bigger high schools for some of the lower division games.
And the feedback on the games there were tremendous. People really loved Bridgewater State. We were at the other night with Franklin. You did some games out at Worcester State, which is just a tremendous arena for high school basketball, the way it's set up. So the big thing is, I think, that people don't realize you're trying to set this up 6 months ahead of time to get locations. It's not like you all of a sudden the night before a game, oh, let's see what's available.
Oh, no. I gave an example to that reporter, Matt Porter, I think is his name. When it comes down to it with doubleheaders and gyms, we likely have 1,000 options that we can look at, and really we're just pressing. We're our team of Ron Ford, Dave Keir, Paul Halloran, Jim Clark, and Pete Smith. We're on the Zoom call and we're literally just map questing and getting the numbers and figuring out what's what.
Yeah.
And it really went well this year. It really did.
Yeah. I think each year that you've been leading this, the complaints or the issues you may hear with especially the neutral site games are a lot less than you did year one of this new format.
Oh, I would agree with that.
And you guys, and you've worked hard to address that. And I also think, on the other hand, you've done a tremendous job of explaining it to people, and they now have a better understanding of what you guys go through.
Yeah, I think all of what you just said, listening, sometimes people don't say it very nicely, but we still try to listen. And so listening to people as they talk about where they saw problems, then trying to get out and explain it and talk about it with people, which has then opened more doors for us.
Yes.
More people realize, okay, I can say yes to him, and he might not even come here.
Right.
But they've said yes.
Yes.
And so it's been really helpful. I mean, we do, I'm not against it. We didn't have to do it this year. But if we see that there's a void in an area and we need to play a game, I'll call somebody that night if I have to try to get the game in there.
Well, we've been very fortunate, Jim. This second year in a row you've joined us at halftime. We've been lucky. Franklin's been here 2 years in a row. Hopefully this year we'll get a championship like you did earlier today.
This is a good one. Good luck with it.
Absolutely. Jim Quattromoni, the athletic director at Hingham High and the director of the state basketball tournament. Thanks for joining us, Jim. All right, here we go. We're getting ready for the second half. Panthers up by 3 at halftime, 28-25. Newton North gets the ball to start. Newton North working it around the top. They shot no good. Sullivan there, or O'Donnell with a rebound, then it gets knocked over. Caden Sullivan at the offensive end with an offensive rebound, and he lays it in. Franklin up 5. Here in the third quarter. It was very nice of Jim Quattromoni to join us. He's very, very busy here at UMass Lowell, and that's going to be a foul on the floor. He also was at the Garden earlier today for Hingham High's game.
So a lot of running around for those MIAA officials today.
Yeah. That's a foul on Olmsted.
Nice.
And then Olmsted knocks and deflects the inbounds pass and gets turned over to Franklin. Olmsted takes it to the basket. He gets fouled. That's going to be called against Tegan Swint, one of the co-captains. And that's going to be his second, team's first of the third quarter. Again, Franklin with a 5-point lead, looking to lengthen that here. Olmsted drives all the way through the lane, and he ends up putting up a 6-footer that's good. Franklin by 7.
That's one of those shots where you're like, how the heck did they manage to make that happen? Because
he was almost horizontal to the court.
Yeah, he was very distorted in his position under the basket.
Yeah. Newton North missed a shot, got the rebound. Oh, Caden Sullivan tried to pick someone's pocket, and we've got nothing there. There's some bodies on the ground.
Deep pass right there, but Franklin maintaining possession.
Gets it to Sullivan. Sullivan back up top to Olmsted, to Samuels, 25 on the shot clock as Olmsted surveys the situation. He moves to his left. He
nice pass there to
underneath.
Samuels, and a 2.
An alley-oop to Justice Samuels, and Coach Paul Connolly will call a timeout. He's trying to get one of the officials' attention to find out why there was not a foul called on his guy or on the Franklin player. on the previous possession for Newton North. But if it was going to be anything, it looked like it might have been an offensive foul, but the official passed on it. Franklin goes down, able to score 34-25, our score. 6:19 left in the third quarter. That timeout there by Newton North is their second. That gives them 3 left in the game. Franklin has not used a timeout, so they've got all 5 left. Again, 6:19 left in the third quarter. We're coming to you from UMass Lowell in the Tsongas Center, the home of the UMass Lowell Riverhawks. And Newton North will now inbound the ball as their timeout's over. And they get the ball in, and they're going to bring it up court here. And Mercedes in the near corner, his three-pointer's no good. And they're going to have an out of bounds there on Conlon trying to save it, but he saved it. He was stepping on the end line when he touched it. So Newton North will inbound it, fresh 35. And the ball comes in, and Stam chases it down. He gets it to Spinelli. Spinelli to Mercedes. Mercedes for 3. Front rim, no good. Going to be a foul on the rebound against Newton North. That's going to go against Spinelli. That's the team's second. It's his first personal. Coming into the game is Washik, and he's coming in replacing number 1, Jake Lyons. Franklin inbounds the ball. Olmsted being guarded by Stam in the backcourt. Now he gets across the timeline. Olmsted over to Samuels. Samuels back to Olmsted on the near side. Sullivan trying to cut to the basket. Looked like he may have been held. 2 whistles there as Olmsted goes to the basket. And that's going to be on Stam. His first, the team's third, with 5:36 left in this third quarter. Our score 34-25. Franklin leading. Coming into the game is Zakic. He replaces Mercedes, goes back to the bench. Zakic comes in. Olmsted to shoot his second, and he ends up making both of them. Franklin by 11 with 5:30 left.
That's their biggest lead of the game so far.
Eerie remnants of last year against North High School of Worcester. Franklin had a lead in the third quarter, and then North just took control. Hopefully we don't run into the same situation. They seem to be much better matched, the Panthers do, against Newton North this year. Although that's a
for 3.
long-range three-pointer by Spinelli, one of the co-captains for the Tigers. Olmsted looking to create something. He gets the ball to Sullivan. Sullivan for the behind the college three-pointer. That shot front rims, no good. Newton North goes all the way down. Great defense by Olmsted.
Yeah, some people were hoping for a travel call there.
Looked like the that's an air ball, but it ends up being a pass. And Swint is the one who was able to get the ball as Coach Conley chases one of the officials up the court, holding up 2 fingers. I'm not sure what he was looking for. Sullivan for 3. Nope, he's turns the shot down. Olmsted gets called for a travel. Coach Neely's saying the ball was out of his hand. So Newton North will inbound the ball in the backcourt right near the timeline, and they'll cross the timeline. Olmsted tries for steal, no good. There's going to be a foul there. It's going to go against either Conlon or O'Donnell. It's going to be Conlon on the arm. That's his first, the team's second of the third quarter. 4 minutes left. Tegan Swint for two. He misses the first. It hits a lot of the rim and bounces out. Franklin up 6 points. Just a reminder, you're listening to 102.9 WFPR.FM. And Swint makes the second shot. Cuts the lead to 5, 36-31 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Olmsted gets it to Samuels, gets it to Sullivan. Sullivan so far having a quiet game, and Franklin still being able to lead. Olmsted shot no good. Rebound, Newton North. They push it. Looking to score there. 10-foot jumper, no good. Rebound ends up in Newton North's hands, and then we're going to have a travel on Swint. Coach Conley telling his players, take a breath, calm down. And Coach C.J. Neely takes his first timeout, Chris, of this game.
Wow.
With 3:38 left in the third quarter. Coach Mike Doherty just wanting to make sure where the inbounds is going to be as he confers with fellow assistant Chuck Allen and Tim Rogers. Coach Neely talking to the players very calmly, that's what he does. He brings a calmness to these athletes and is able to get through to them. This is Coach C.J. Neely's fourth state final in the 11 years he's been coaching at Franklin High School. Would love to see him break through with the win today. But either way, Coach Neely is as good a coach as there is in the state of Massachusetts. And in my opinion, Franklin is extremely lucky to have him. He's a class guy, not only as a coach, but just as a person. Franklin will inbound the ball. Olmsted gets the ball. He's being guarded very closely by Washek. Now Washek backs up, and Olmsted gets it across. He gets it to Samuels. Samuels to O'Donnell. Sullivan in the lane. His shot is no good. The ball gets tipped out by Samuels, then into the hands of Herndon. And Franklin gets a fresh 35, leading by 5. Olmsted. That's going to be a foul. That's going to go against Zakic, who came right across the arm of Herndon for the foul. That's Newton North's fourth of the quarter with 3 minutes left. Franklin trying very hard to get Caden Sullivan involved in the offense, but Spinelli is doing a great job on defense. Now, one of the officials is talking to Spinelli, and the ball gets inbounded to Herndon. Herndon up top, gets it back to Olmsted. Olmsted, 8-foot jump shot is good. 38-31, under 3 left in the third quarter. Franklin up 7. That's going to be a foul. That's going to go against O'Donnell. O'Donnell did block the ball, but he came across the player's arm to get the ball. So Julian Zakic, number 2 for Newton North, is going to shoot 2 with 2:45. That's Franklin's third team foul. Zakic makes the first. Now we're going to have Jake Lyons come back in for the Tigers. Going out of the game is Stam. Newton North has played 8 players so far. Franklin 7. And Zakic makes the second one. So now the lead is 5. 2:40 left in the third quarter. Sullivan gets the ball, gets it underneath to Samuels, and he gets push, two hands by Swint. And that's going to be two shots. And that's Swint's third foul. So both Swint and Mercedes have three fouls for Newton. Samuels to shoot, two. His first one off the side of the rim, no good. But now foul trouble becoming a concern for the Tigers. Coach Conley did not like that call against Swint, but it has not been changed. I've never seen a call changed.
Second
Samuels
is good.
makes that. So 6-point lead here for Franklin, 39-33, 2:30 left in the third quarter. Zakic cuts in the lane, goes to the basket, lays it in, no good. Oh, Franklin had the rebound, then it got knocked loose, and Newton North ends up with it and able to score. 39-35 our score. Sullivan brings it up. Olmsted comes out, gets the ball. He works it into the lane. He goes to lay it up, kind of a wild shot, no good. Rebound, Newton North, they'll go full length of the court and lay it in. Jake Lyons with the two. Now it's a 2-point game. Olmsted, again, Newton North is doing a great job on Caden Sullivan. Right there, Samuels was able to hand it off to Sullivan. Sullivan thought about a long-range three. He gets the ball to Olmsted. Olmsted, 8-footer, no good.
Bounce off the rim.
That hit off the back of the rim. Newton North with the chance to either tie or take the lead. That shot's no good by Swint, and Samuel with the rebound. And Olmsted will bring it up. 1:10 left in the third quarter. Franklin by 3. Again, you're listening to WFPR 102.9. Samuels looking for a cutting O'Donnell, but Samuels goes into the lane. His shot's no good. Newton North gets it across half court. And it's going to go in the corner there. Washik's shot no good. Rebound, Herndon, and he gets it to Olmsted. 38 seconds left. Sullivan goes to the basket. He lays it in and gets fouled. That foul is on Spinelli. That's his second. So Spinelli's got 2. Sullivan to shoot 1 to give a 5-point lead, and he makes it. Couple of subs coming back into the game for Newton North. Mercedes and Stam come in for Spinelli, and not sure, that's number 15. Washik goes out. So 30 seconds left, no shot clock. Newton North can hold it for the last shot. They seem to be content in doing that. They're on the UMass logo. Sullivan guarding Lyons, who's 40 feet from the basket. We're now 10 seconds left. Mercedes for a long-range three, no good.
Franklin with the rebound.
Herndon, Sullivan from mid-court, no good. Almost
made it.
It looked like he almost banked that in, Chris.
It bangs off the glass about maybe 2 or 3 inches to the right of the basket.
So the score here is 42-37. Franklin with 1 quarter left to go.
And Franklin holding on to a 5-point lead here.
Just so you know, if you want to watch any of our past episodes of the show we do with the MIAA, it's called MIAA Winning Ways. It's all about school sports and student athletes of the month, power rankings, the brackets, and more. You can find episodes of Winning Ways with the MIAA on our Franklin Pride YouTube channel. And we
We're gonna have
thoroughly
to
enjoy doing those programs with the MIAA.
very much so, and and after this we'll have to get in touch with them to see who the next students of the month are.
Absolutely. Yep, we'll start those up as soon as we get a chance to breathe from the state tournament. So Franklin will have the possession arrow to start the fourth quarter with a 5-point lead. Caden Sullivan brings the players that are on the court, Samuels, O'Donnell, Olmsted, and Herndon together for a pre-fourth quarter pep talk. Caden Sullivan, even though he has not been a leader on the scoreboard, he has been a leader on the floor and just showed his leadership ability by getting his team together. Olmsted will bring the ball up. It's now in Herndon's hand, who gets it back to Olmsted. They keep trying to get Sullivan open, and that long-range three is no good.
Not good.
But a
North
better
with the
shot
rebound.
for Sullivan. So Newton North has the ball. They kick it outside. Nice defense there by Samuels, prevent anybody from going to the basket. This is Zakic, who goes to the basket. His shot is an air ball. Sullivan gets the rebound, kicks it out to Olmsted, who dribbles behind the back, and then gets fouled by Zakic, number 2. That'll be the first foul of the quarter. That's his third. So right now you've got 3 players for Newton North with 3 fouls, 1 with 2 fouls. So that's becoming a real issue going forward. Sullivan spins in the lane, lays it up.
Nice shot there for 2. Franklin gets it.
44-37. Panthers with the lead. 7 minutes left in regulation. Sullivan guarding Spinelli. Now the ball's back to Zakic. And then there's going to be a foul called against Olmsted.
He wasn't quite agreeing with that call.
That's Olmsted's second foul, which, for those that have watched a lot of Franklin games this year, Olmsted is doing a great job staying out of foul trouble tonight. Newton North working the ball around the perimeter, trying to get something at the basket. They have a tough shot, then they get a rebound, no good. Samuels ends up
with the rebound.
it. Herndon, and he kicks it out to Herndon, who gets it to Sullivan, who gets it back to Olmsted.
6 minutes and 26 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter.
Sullivan now with the ball at the top of the arc here, and he takes a two-pointer. He hit a foot in the line, but rebound Herndon.
Nice pass there to Samuels.
Samuels dipsy-doos and lays it in for 2. 46-37, Franklin by 9. That's going to be a blocking call against Olmsted, who did not like it. But to be fair, that's what the officials have been calling tonight. That's similar to some of the fouls Mercedes and Spinelli have had, and Coach C.J. Neely calls a timeout as Caden Sullivan has a cut on his arm. Coach Neely didn't need to call that timeout because when you have blood, you're now allowed a reasonable amount of time, 15 to 20 seconds, to try to fix it, and the player doesn't have to go out. Trainer Jen wrapping up Sullivan's arm. It's his right arm. And he's saying he's got a little blood on his shirt. TJ's going to try to spray something to get that off. They may, if this timeout expires, they may have to replace it. TJ now spraying the solution on his shirt, and it looks like from here at least they got it. And Caden Sullivan will remain in the game. Sullivan has not sat a minute tonight or a second. Except I'm going to guess at halftime, Chris, he was in the locker room and may have sat down. But that's it. So it's going to be Newton North ball on the far side after the foul against Olmsted. Olmsted's third. And Newton will inbound the ball. They inbound it to Jake Lyons, who kicks it over to Zakic. And it works its way around to Spinelli. Spinelli drops it off to Lyons. Lyons from the foul line, no good. And a diving rebound by Sullivan. And he gets it up, gets it to Herndon, who gets it to Olmsted, who gets it back to Herndon. Herndon to Samuel. Caden Sullivan with the ball. He drives in the lane.
Oh.
That's no good. Newton North now pushing it. Newton North kind of
Driving
breaks
into the
through a
basket and
couple
they
of
get two.
players. Yeah, breaks through O'Donnell and Olmsted for two. 46-39, 7-point lead by Franklin. 5:15 left. Franklin with possession. Arrow in favor of Newton North. Sullivan to Olmsted. Olmsted for a
three.
college three, no good. And Newton with the rebound. They bring it up court, and they're going to slow it down a bit, try to get an open shot. Spinelli goes
Nice
to the
block from
basket,
behind. Wow.
and Sullivan from behind knocks it right out of his hand. Spinelli looking for a foul, but
Be interesting to see, like, if he got like a part of his hand or more ball than hand.
it looked like he got all ball. I'm going with that, Chris. Newton North, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Olmsted on defense. Lions for three. No good.
Can't get it.
Oh, Samuels tried to get the rebound. Thought he was tipping it to a teammate, but tipped it to Spinelli, and Spinelli put it in. 5-point lead by the Panthers. Caden Sullivan brings it across the timeline. 4:23 left in regulation. Olmsted. Olmsted's pass is taken by Spinelli.
Yeah, Newton
Olmsted
North
plays
pounces on that
defense.
one.
That shot is no good by Spinelli. Another shot, no good. And we're going to have a Franklin foul. And that's on Olmsted. That's going to be, I believe, his fourth.
Yeah.
So Olmsted started the quarter with one foul. He's picked up three in this fourth quarter. All three fouls against Franklin have been against Olmsted. First fouled shot by number 22, Tegan Swint, one of the Tigers' co-captains, is good. Lead now 4. 4:07 left. One more shot for Swint. Swint's shot is up and it's good.
Second shot is good.
46-43. Franklin in the lead, and we are halfway through the fourth quarter in regulation. Sullivan on the UMass logo. He drives to his left, lays it up, and
Good shot.
as he's diving to the floor. 5-point lead for Franklin. Nice drive to the basket.
That's going
by
to cut the lead back
Swint.
down to 3.
Swint with the layup. Sullivan looking for the ball. Sullivan's looking to take charge in this game. Sullivan is going to do everything he can to will this team to a victory. Samuel's shot, no good. He was being guarded closely by Swint. Now Swint dribbles behind the back. His shot's no good. We have a foul, though, against Franklin. And that's going to go against O'Donnell. And it'll result in 2 shots by Swint. It's the 4th team foul against Franklin. Swint's first shot hits the front of the rim. Ted Newton North only has 1 foul in this quarter. 3:13 left.
If he makes this second shot, it cuts the lead down to 2.
And he does. So, Franklin leading by 2, 3:08 left in regulation. Olmsted with the ball. Works it around, gets it to Herndon. Then he takes it back. Olmsted gets it to Sullivan. Sullivan has a different defender on him. He drives to the basket,
that shot.
steps back, and puts it in for two.
He had to contort himself yet again to make that shot.
He did. He knew he had a mismatch on his defender and took him right to the basket. Newton North gets
That shot
kind
is
of tied up there.
Yeah, they almost lost that out of
with
bounds.
the ball, being guarded by both O'Donnell and Olmsted. They kick it into the far corner. That shot's an air ball, no good. Rebound, Franklin. Herndon kicks it up court to Olmsted. Olmsted goes to the basket. His layup is no good, but Sullivan with the follow!
That was amazing.
What an unbelievable follow. Franklin by 6. 52-46. Spinelli sidesteps, and he's able to get off a deuce, and he puts it down, and Newton North takes a timeout. 52-48 our score with 2:01 left in regulation.
That last basket by the Panthers was amazing.
What, Chris, what an unbelievable
That was a
shot and effort by Caden Sullivan. Caden Sullivan showed what a leader he is on this team.
Just the fact that Franklin missed it on the first shot and then a follow through on the rebound. I mean, that's as good as it gets.
Yep. Just looking at the Franklin huddle down there, Trainer Jen is back working on Caden Sullivan's arm just to put that wrap back on as it had come loose, being helped by assistant coach Tim Rogers. And Tim Rogers and Trainer Jen fist bump each other. Looks like it's all set. So that timeout was by Newton North. Newton North has 2 timeouts left. Franklin has 3. Franklin has 4 fouls against it. The next one against Franklin, Newton will be shooting. Newton North only has 1, so they have 3 to give before Franklin's shooting. 2:01 left. Franklin will inbound the ball. Olmsted will inbound it. Newton North playing full court here, playing a full court man-to-man. Olmsted gets it into Herndon, back to Olmsted. Sullivan gets it right across the timeline with 27 left, and then Sullivan gets fouled, and it'll be Franklin ball underneath. That foul is on Stam. His second foul, the team's second foul. Franklin will inbound it. Minute 50 left. That's going to be out of bounds off Sullivan. Sullivan thought he got fouled. So does Coach C.J. Neely. But no call. And Newton will inbound the ball. 1:45 left. Newton trailing by 4, 52-48. They're working around the perimeter, trying to get an open shot. Lions. And there's a 3-point attempt by Swint, which is no good. Rebound Franklin, and they'll try to work a little bit of clock. It's only a 4-point lead, so you don't want to stop what you're doing. Whatever you've been doing has been working. Olmsted with the ball. And goes to Sullivan. Sullivan between 2 defenders. Goes up. No foul there. And Lyons for 3. No good. And it goes out of bounds over the top of the backboard. That shot was altered by Justice Samuels, who tried to block it. Samuels has only had 2 blocks.
That would have been very impressive if he'd been able to block that one.
So we're under a minute left, 58.5 seconds left. Franklin inbounding it in the backcourt. And Sullivan gets the inbound pass from Herndon. And Sullivan is looking to get across half court. And he gets the ball to O'Donnell. O'Donnell to Herndon. Out to Olmsted. 20 on the shot clock, 40 in the game. Sullivan with the ball, hoping to draw a foul, and it gets stolen. And Swint dunks it. It's a 2-point game. And there's going to be a foul against Newton North. You can't hear a whistle in here. It's so loud. And Olmsted is on the ground. Looks like he's cramping up. So it's the third team foul. That foul went against Spinelli, his third. But no shot clock. 28.1 left. And Coach Paul Conley of the Newton North Tigers calls a timeout. So let's give you a quick reset here. Franklin 52, Newton North 50. And let's see, we've got Newton North has 1 timeout left. Franklin has 3 timeouts left. 4 fouls against Franklin in this quarter. 3 against Newton North. So Newton North's got 1 more to give. And let's see, what else do you need? 28.1. Both coaches working hard in their huddles. Coach Neely on a knee. He's got an elbow on his other knee. He's got his hand on his chin, talking very calmly to his team. It's right now Herndon, Sullivan, Olmsted, Samuels, and I think that's O'Donnell. Yeah, O'Donnell. So those 5 will come out here. It'll be Franklin ball on the far end in the backcourt. No shot clock. So Herndon is going to be the inbounder. Again, Newton has a foul to give. So if they foul, they've got 2 players on Caden Sullivan, 1 on Olmsted, and the ball gets into Olmsted, gets back to Herndon. Herndon gets fouled, but no shooting. That goes against Swint. And it's Swint's 4th foul. Conlon is going to come back in for O'Donnell. Herndon will inbound it. Gets it to Sullivan. That's what Franklin wants. And Sullivan gets fouled. And that foul is going to go against Stam. That's Stam's 3rd. If we happen to go to regulation, foul trouble is going to play a part on it for Newton North. But Sullivan will go to the line to shoot 2. Looks like O'Donnell's going to check back into the game for the Panthers. Sullivan's first shot is up and no good. Hits the back of the rim and kicks out. O'Donnell comes in for Conlon. It looks like they're going to kind of go offense-defense. The Panthers are. Sullivan, the Endicott commit. His second shot is good. So Franklin with a 3-point lead, 53-50. 18 seconds left in regulation of the Division I MIAA State Final. 3-pointer by Newton North is no good. They get their own rebound, being guarded by Olmsted, and Olmsted gets called for a foul. But in that situation, that's okay, because that is going to be the 5th on Olmsted. It's also the 5th team foul, so they'll shoot 2. But Franklin has got a 3-point lead, so it's all right for them to shoot 2. CJ, Coach Neely talking to the players. Olmsted's going to come out of the game because he's got 5 fouls. Looks like Conlon's going to go in. And the official's calling for the sub. And it is Conlon. So your lineup for the Panthers is Conlon, Samuels, O'Donnell, Herndon, and the leader, Caden Sullivan. So 2 shots here for Swint, his first. Good. Newton still has 1 timeout left. My guess is if they sink this, they'll call a timeout. His second shot, good. No, he's going to let him play. Conley's going to let him play. And they get the ball into Sullivan. Sullivan gets fouled. A 2.5 comes off the clock. Sullivan's going to shoot 2. Right now, Franklin has a 1-point lead. .1 seconds left on the clock. Both teams are in the bonus here. Sullivan's first shot is pure through the net. 54-52. Sullivan will shoot 1. Spinelli is in the Newton North front court being guarded by O'Donnell. Sullivan's shot bangs around the rim and it's good. So Franklin up 3 with 6 seconds. Newton North across the timeline. They move the ball around. The shot is all good. Franklin is your state champion! Franklin has finally won a state title! The 4th time. Coach C.J. Neely is hugging his son. That is awesome. That is so awesome to see him hugging his son. He is in tears. The whole team, they finally did it. The Franklin Panthers are your Division I MIAA state champion. What an unbelievable game. What an unbelievable season. Many people thought this might have been a rebuilding season for the Panthers. It was not. They lost 1 game. Congratulations to Coach Ryan Sheehan and Zavarian for winning against Franklin. It was their only loss of the season. Now they're all hugging here on the sidelines as they get ready for the presentation. This is Franklin High School's first title since the girls basketball team won in 2020. They were co-champions. Everybody congratulating trainer Jen, as they should. Caden Sullivan and Jake Olmstead in a bear hug. And now they'll do the handshake line, and then we'll have the presentation of medals and trophies. Wow, I couldn't be happier for all these players, but more importantly, CJ, Coach Tim Rogers, who Tim has been involved with Franklin basketball. His son, his oldest son, is the same age as mine. He's been involved forever and been around all these kids. The coach is now shaking hands with Paul Conley, who is a tremendous coach, and CJ and Coach Conley in a bear hug. And Coach Conley puts his arm around CJ, walks him down the court. That's just awesome. That is so neat to see. And they're in a discussion. I'm sure Coach Conley is telling him how happy he is. He's disappointed they lost, but he is so happy for CJ. They're still talking there, and they're kind of waiting on giving out the medals while the two of them have their own little private meeting together. And he taps him on the shoulder, and Coach Neely turns to the crowd, and he embraces Superintendent of Schools Lucas Jagir. Awesome of Mr. G to be here. So Franklin now getting their medals. Athletic Director Kara Ellis is handing them out, along with some other administrators here. CJ, for those that are listening and not watching this on the NFHS, he is beside himself. Everybody just patting him on the head. Coach Perrin and Coach Rogers enjoying a laugh. Chuck Allen, who coached for years at Oliver Ames with legendary Massachusetts coach Don Byron. He was an assistant and the JV coach for Coach Byron. Came over a couple of years ago to help CJ out. And for him to win a state title is just awesome as well. And there, CJ Neely gets his medal. He gets a hug from everybody. All the coaches getting their medals. And the players are just beside themselves. Now they're going to go get the trophy from our halftime guest, Jim Quattromoni. Unfortunately, they're going to be looking the other way for the trophy photo. But let's see if we can get this off the scoreboard. (55-52) our final score here, but that doesn't matter. The score doesn't matter. All that matters is the Franklin Panthers are your MIAA Division I boys basketball state champion. And I have a feeling those students, and here they come, over to celebrate with the student body and Rattle City. Congratulations to Franklin. We thank you for listening and watching all season. We'll see you next time. And for Pete Royce, so long, neighbors.